Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Paul Simon here on 2BS 95.1 FM. Let's turn our attention to Dubbo, the Mayor, Matthew Dickerson. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Great to see you following on Pecky's tradition of being a sticky beak around the region.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his tradition. I think that's his job. I'm the one that's actually just being a sticky beak, really. Just trying to assimilate what Pecky likes to do in the morning, but without the charm or charisma. But either way, we are turning our attention to Dubbo this morning because we have seen some good news regarding the floods anyway. I mean, it looks like it's kind of behind you at the moment. The Macquarie River looking at around 3.87 metres, expected to remain below the minor flood level. So it looks like things are looking pretty positive in Dubbo.
Yeah, absolutely right. 7.4 metres is when we get a bit scared in Dubbo about our second bridge closing. So at the levels you're talking about there, it's all pretty good. We've had some pretty severe erosion down in Wellington around the Duke of Wellington Bridge. So that bridge still is closed. There's a huge bit of riverbank that's fallen away before that particular bridge down there. So that's going to be a long time and an expensive repair. But apart from that, the current flooding, we can live with those levels, and hopefully we can get to the stage where our pedestrian bridges will finally pop up above the water again.
Well, that'll be a sight to see. It's lovely. Now, we have actually seen that you've got some success in the Tourism Awards recently.
Actually, the whole region, I was pretty excited to be down at the Tourism Awards last Thursday night down in Sydney at Luna Park. The Old Dubbo Jail in Dubbo won a silver award, so that was exciting to be there for our team there. That's a council-owned facility. The Taronga Western Plains Zoo, as it always seems to do, picked up 2 gold awards. So again, that's not a council facility, but it's incredibly important for Dubbo. So they've done fantastically well again. It is a great tourist attraction in Dubbo and in the region. But what I was really excited about was the number of awards that were won by the region. So we saw organisations in Orange and Bathurst and Mudgee. In fact, at our table, we had 2 other silver awards that were won by organisations in Bathurst. So it was really good for the region. And Ben Franklin, who's the minister responsible, was there, and I had a bit of a chat to him. And I actually did point out that it wasn't just Dubbo winning awards, it was the whole region picking up awards. So I think that's a really positive thing for the region, because when people come and visit places in Dubbo, they might also go and look at places in Bathurst or Orange or Mudgee. So we like to see the whole region being very strong.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, one place gets the award and everyone else benefits from it as well. It's always great to see in Dubbo especially.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And it is a lot of strength in the region. I think there are lots of things to do out in the region. So what we learned during the pandemic was people stopped going overseas and they were looking for regional experiences, and suddenly all these tourists were coming out to these regional locations, and the feedback that I heard was that they were discovering places. They didn't know all these great places existed out in these regional areas. So it is great to see that that's continuing on.
That's right, just exploring your own backyard, it goes a long way. And of course, just while I have you, but there was some talk about you had some association with the Japanese government recently. You were saying off air. Sorry, I just must have missed it.
No, that's right. The Shoyuan Japanese Gardens and Durian Tea House. Yeah, so that was a present that Minakamo, our sister city in Japan, gave us, and it was officially opened 20 years ago. They are incredibly generous. They actually built the tea house in Japan, took it apart, put it on 2 shipping containers, brought it over here and built it. And the actual builder of it 20 years ago was over for our celebrations on the weekend, and he was incredibly proud to see how his tea house had survived all the various conditions that we have here in Australia. But all the Japanese gardens as well, they send over 2 of their gardeners every year to help maintain that, to keep it as a traditional Japanese garden. So we had 18 delegates from Japan here on the weekend to help celebrate that 20th anniversary. We had a huge crowd of Dubbo people along there yesterday afternoon for the celebration, and really to thank Minakamo, to thank the people from Japan for this wonderful gift we've got. And while we're talking about tourism, it is a really important tourism attraction that we have here in Dubbo. And the number of people who come and want to do a traditional tea ceremony, my knees don't love traditional tea ceremonies, but people love to come along and look at those tea ceremonies and be a part of those. And again, people travel from all along the eastern seaboard to come along because it is such an authentic Japanese tea house. So that was a really exciting celebration over the weekend.
It's great to see that tradition is still alive. I would have loved to have seen the designer's face after 20 years of having their project still up and running and just, you know what, I've done this, I've created this, and it's still a legacy. So that would have been lovely to see. And Matthew, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mayor. We'll talk to you again next week.
No problems at all. Thank you.
Mayor of Dubbo, Matthew Dickerson, here on 2BS 95.1 FM.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.